always wanted to make things. He always has made things with his hands. Like he built kayaks. He made. He used to screen print T-shirts. You know, back like when you cut out screens. I don't know how you do it today. And he was always like having sort of like these little tiny businesses where he'd print shirts and people would want to buy them. There's some weird thing on it that nobody really understood, but some people would get it. And I was used to this. He always had ideas and he always was making things. And finally one day he said, I want to make kayaking gear. And specifically at that time he wanted to make surf trunks because we were both kayaking all the time and living the kayaking lifestyle, but there was no real lifestyle. There was no kayaking clothes. And people were wearing like camping stuff. I mean, that was back, you know, it was a long time ago.
We saw, on one hand, we saw that kayaking was getting younger, for sure. And, you know, the average age of the students I was teaching was going from like 40s to like 30s to late 20s. And a lot of these kids weren't happy just wearing royal blue paddle jackets and, you know, baggy surf shorts with like a 5-inch end seat. That just wasn't what they wanted to do. So I thought, well, you know, let's make surf clothes for kayaking. Let's just take surfing and make for kayaking. And kayaking at the time was really, you know, exploding. It was taking off. I mean, people talk about how kayaking has been slow the past couple of years, but you have to understand when we were, you know, when we started IR, kayaking was really small. And it grew a lot from 97 when we first started IR to 2000 or 2001. I mean, I don't know the exact multiple, but it grew by many multiples during that period of time. And we thought we're going to make surfwear for kayaking, and that was, you know, we were going to fill this need for that. And like I said, it was kind of a crazy idea, and we didn't really think much of it until Denver McClure called and said, I'll order some of those. And at that point, you know, I think we realized that we may be able to make a business doing this. It was just Karen and me and these 5 industrial sewing machines, and I was just sewing shorts. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know how to thread a machine or anything. And next to us, these guys were painting cars and doing body work, which, you know, was throwing dust and paint everywhere, and that was a whole another thing. But Karen at the same time was, you know, we were actually getting calls from people who heard what we're doing, and you know, even though we weren't really even selling anything, you could tell there was a demand for this product, which is exactly what you want to do with a small business. Small businesses have so many problems, but if there's no demand for the product, you know, it's dead before it even starts. But people had just heard about this and were calling us for this stuff, and so we started. You know, I just figured, okay, we're gonna figure this out. You know, and it's funny because at that point we didn't have much, but we had invested everything we had into making kayaking clothes. You know, and.
Yeah, it was pretty much overnight that, you know, we were there, you know, 10 hours a day, you know, just working at this thing. I don't think we really knew what it was yet, you know.
Winston Churchill said that you don't know the rules of the game until you bet way more than you can afford to lose. And in some ways, I think that's true for us, and we just put everything we had into that, and we had no choice.
Well, I don't think we got to that point until we started borrowing money from the bank.
That's true. That's true. That quote is a little premature.
Right.